Well, welcome again this morning. Glad to have you with me on some good seeds. Genesis 37 and 38, Psalm 7, and Luke chapter 15 are my chapters today. And it's from the book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse 28, that I want to draw some thoughts that I sincerely hope and pray will be a blessing to you and a help to you. Chapter 37, verse 28 says this: Then Midianite traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver, and they took Joseph to Egypt. The account of Joseph begins in Genesis chapter 37 and is undoubtedly one of the more famous and greatly loved of all of the accounts of the history of Israel. So, having been treated harshly by his brothers, sold into slavery by those same brothers, God protects Joseph time and time again and preserves him and brings him to a place of prominence in Egypt in order to save those same brothers along with his father and during the time of famine in all of the land. So there is in this account, I believe, a principle that is tested and true within the Old Testament and all the history that is there, and it's reinforced time and again in the New Testament. It's the principle that between every promise and the provision of that promise, or the product or the fulfillment of that promise, there is always a problem or a process. That is, that there will always be tests to reinforce the promise in the heart and mind of the person to whom the promise is given. So, the promise to Joseph, well, you know the account. He had two dreams, that he would rise to a place of prominence and that his family would bow down and pay homage to him. And of course, we see that very thing happen in the end. But what is the process that he went through? Well, when you look at Genesis chapters 37 through 50, you can't miss all the problems that Joseph went through or the process that he went through. 4 distinct tests at least. Hated by his brothers, sold into slavery by those same brothers, false accusation against him by Potiphar's wife, and then in prison he was, what's the right word? He was forgotten by the butler of the king. And so there he was in that situation, and every time being tested in that. That's the process that he went through. Yet in each of those problems, he passed the test, and indeed fulfillment of his dreams came about as a result of it. And each time he trusted God. Through all of it, God kept him safe. So I'm quite sure it was not all sunshine and blue skies for Joseph, but through it all, God honored his word, and Joseph trusted God, and he was true to his word and believed the promise of God. So how does that apply to you and me? Well, the same principle. Between every promise and the product, there's always a process or a problem. Believe it and hold on to that. So God has given you his word. Believe it, trust it. Is there going to be a problem? Yes, there is. So what should you do when the problem arises? Continue trusting. Don't doubt in the dark what was revealed to you in the light. Amen. God is true to his word, and you can believe it. Amen. So may the Lord richly bless you as you are in the process, trusting and believing God. Amen.